This is Ken Goldberg in Orlando, Florida, and I just wanted to welcome you to our October 29th, 2020 Q&A information call. I'd like to introduce our Vice President here at Fund My Home, Mr. Scott Grimm. Can you say a few words, please?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Ken, and good evening, everyone, and welcome to our corporate exchange on this Thursday night, October 29th. It's been a great day at fundmyhome.org. We had some wonderful webinars today with our amazing Lion Leader associates. We're so blessed to be surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses here at fundmyhome.org. And we're blessed to have what we feel is just a new and exciting direction in the lines of communications to all of our great associates. And that's what our Thursday night corporate exchange time is really all about. It's an opportunity for all of our great associates to hear from our CEO and those of us that are corporate in leadership here and share with you the great things that are happening at fundmyhome.org. And Carlos is going to be sharing some of those phenomenal things that are taking place with everyone here tonight. So we're really focused on our new tagline, if you will. You talk the talk, and fundmyhome.org and our executive associates are going to walk the walk, and it's really going quite well already. So I just want to say that if you're an associate that's on the call tonight because you're here looking for answers and you haven't been on the calls the last 3 or 4 Thursdays or any of our workshops or anything like that, that you are behind the 8 ball, so to speak. The best thing that you can do to get caught up is, if you haven't done so already, is to email support@fundmyhome.org. Give them your name, your ID number, and let them know that you need to set up an onboarding call with one of our assistants at fundmyhome.org. They'll send you a link via email. It's a calendar link where you'll be able to select the time and the date that you'd like to have your call. It's anywhere between an hour and an hour and a half. These calls are absolutely critical, and they're mandatory that all associates, if you haven't done so already, that you do that. It's mandatory to keep your membership status current, and also it's mandatory so that you'll be able to receive your own executive assistant, and that is something, believe me, you are going to want to have, because we've got 6 phenomenal verticals of opportunity here for us to earn income and to be able to start creating wealth, and that's one of the primary focuses at fundmyhome.org is to share in this great prosperity project that we do already have in place at fundmyhome.org. And we're just excited to be able to help you make your job easier and more productive by continuing to improve the process. And that's what we want to do, and that's what we believe we are doing. So make sure you email support@fundmyhome.org. That you ask to be onboarded, because a lot of the questions that you're going to have are going to be answered on your onboarding. You're going to understand exactly where we are, exactly the way things are operating, and you're going to get the help that you need to get your marketing set up, to get your funnels going, to get your YouTube ad going, and all of those necessary tools and things to help you be successful. So with that, Ken, back to you.
All right, great, Scott. Thank you very much. Was on your Zoom about an hour or so ago. Some very interesting information. I know you're working as a coach, and quite a few people jumped on that call, and I know I learned a lot. That was great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, right now I'd like to bring our CEO of fundmyhome.org, Mr. Carlos Berrettini.
Good evening. Good evening. How are you, Ken and Scott and everyone? How are you guys?
Excellent.
Good. I hope you can hear me well.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right. So we have information to give you. We have some questions to answer on the Q&A, and then we simply continue to repeat our concept, our model, and then we perfect it together. So we're gonna have a very nice call tonight. So Ken, if you would. So thank you, Ken. On the what I wanted to mention on the testimonial, it was an interesting situation, and it had to do with a lady. Her name is Nakia Miller. She closed. She's very happy. She's also one of our new associate members. She became a home buyer, and then she became an associate member. But one of the things about her closing that became very explosive was that her co-signer, last minute, her mother decided to co-sign for a car for her cousin. And this caused her an emergency. So the situation here is when you look at the our website, we have the the menus and there are videos. There you'll see what it says do's and don'ts, and it's very important. The do's and don'ts are appears to be very no big deal at all, but they're very common situations that our home buyers do that cause blowouts. So I know that I spoke about it on last call, but I want to remind you that the sure way to know what to do in fundmyhome.org is to go through the home buyers navigate here. At the very least, that's where you should go. You will go to the rest of the page, of course, but that is the one place that you want to know because at the end it's not that much. And then you guide your home buyers and you prepare because it will be at the end this transaction did close, but it could have been another story. It could have been a very sad situation for her because she was very enthusiastic about buying her home. So I just wanted to mention that. But so let's go on with the questions, Ken, please.
The first question with regards to the addition of executive assistants, does FMH have an updated phone script for how far we can take potential home buyers through the pre-qualification process? I know our job now is to focus on marketing. At what point do we let our assistants close them?
Okay, well, and this question kind of goes along with what I was just saying. So it says, with regards to the addition of a account executive assistant. Okay, so the executive assistants are there to help you through the transaction. They are not there to help you sell it. So what the script would be, the way that we like to manage things is to somebody responds to some kind of interest, a friend refer the home buyer, YouTube ad, whatever, however it got to you. The thing to do should be, great, are you in front of a computer? And they're going to tell you yes or no, and your job is to say, okay, I'll wait. I'll send you an email. When can you be in front of a computer? Because you want to bring them to the source of information and you want to let them get comfortable and familiarized because you want them to take responsibility because this is the home that they're buying. You're not going to live in the house. It's their home, and that's who should be doing 99% of the job, of the work. Your job is to make them acquainted with what we do. So bring them to your Zoom webinar. When you become an associate member with fundmyhome.org, we give you a full onboarding, we give you an orientation call, and we teach you everything. We teach you how to use a computer if you don't know how to. We've done it for a lot of associates, a lot of them, not just 10 or 20, but to a lot of them. So you bring them to, we teach you how to do Zoom webinars because we believe that the best place is for you to bring them to your Zoom webinar and for you to bring them to the source and just guide them there. So the the question here says, what is this updated phone script? Well, it should be just a very simple, easy conversation. You know what we do? We provide home buyers with non-repayable down payment assistance, and there are no income limits. We have a situation that we sometimes get accused of being too good to be true. So the best answer to that is, and the good news is, there is no obligation fee or broker fee. So have a good time. So the script is simple. You know what we do. You know what they want. The home buyer knows what we do. They know what they want. So it's really that simple. So relax, sit back. There is no need to do it right or wrong. Simply know the basics. The basics are that the the importance, the two most important parts are that they understand the two conditions in which they receive our down payment assistance. So you kind of have to guide them with information. So what are the two conditions? One, that they help us publicize the grant event with their friends and to their friends and family by posting a social media post when they get a clear to close before they close. And number two, that they utilize the services of our preferred realtors and lenders. And then some other basics. So, and simply easy, relax, don't overdo it. Just have a nice conversation. And before we made the change, because we started with a concept that was the original concept, and the concept that how we envisioned the company. We said, let's not look for or require uh, skilled labor. Let's just look for and work with the people, home buyers, neighbors, cousins, co-workers, friends, family. And so we just want you to simply share. And now, a few months ago, let's say maybe, you know, almost a year ago, we came up with a change on our concept, which actually, when I think about it, it came in as a complete error because we started calling ourselves as associate member, we started calling ourselves um, grant specialists. So the grant specialist, by not noticing, it took the company to a different avenue, which was to require or to expect that everybody needed to be extremely proficient at a very important, very complex industry. And we kind of went away from the point of marketing, of the point of a social media referral society. And we, but that went on unnoticed that we actually made a shift to what we envisioned. We only envisioned a social media reference society. And now that we noticed that change, this is why we now made the change and we are now saying, you talk the talk and we walk the walk. Just do what you came here to do, which is socialize, to share with everybody you know, everybody you meet. And then we'll take it from there. So share a little bit. You don't have to know much, and we take care of it. So the script gotta be easy. Again, remember, the home buyer knows what we do. They know what they want, and that really is the job. The job is marketing. Okay. So back at the end of the call, the question it says, at what point do we let our associates close them? And the answer is at no point. Your assistants are not there to close anybody. They don't. Nobody should need any convincing to do for them to want to get non-repayable down payment assistance. No one should get any convincing to have them help with their student loans, with some old collections. Who would need any convincing to help them increase the credit score and do all the things that we do when everybody else says no? You don't have the score. We don't need to go any further. So no, the associate members is who makes the sale. So when you have somebody interested, what we used to say when we started with this um, grant specialist, we started to make you guys go through a system of teaching the home buyer, going through a complete onboarding. Now we're saying no. When they tell you I want to go, you say great. Let me bring you on the phone. Let me bring you up on the onboarding call. So right now, all the lengthy process, we want you to abandon it. If they want a home, don't worry about too many details. Kind of teach them the basics and bring them on the telephone. Your executive assistant, what they will do is they simply will do a pre-qualification questionnaire quickly. They will do a needs analysis. But the reason for this is because on that phone call, we want to give them a disposition, yes or no, quickly. We don't want to wait weeks by the time they get prepared and they start getting documentation and going back and forth. They tell you, I want to go, and you say, great, let me put you on the phone with them, with the carrier right now. So that's really what we want you to do is you have a customer, put them on the phone, but not to sell them because there's no need to sell here anything. We say that this company, we don't make you and we don't want you to sound like a salesperson. We just want you to give information. Let them tell you, okay, I'm interested, let's go. So so once again, you have a customer interested, put them on the telephone. We are no longer going to require that they first upload the documents before they go through the whole process. When they go on the telephone and they have a pre-qualification finding that is positive, they will be told, great, we recommend that you proceed. If that's what they say, then they will tell them, okay, so give me this, give me this, give me this, give me that, and this is where I want it, this is how I want it. Go ahead, have a good time, let's stay in touch. When the home buyer does that, gathers their paperwork, the pay stubs, all the supporting documentation, then they're going to be live transferred on a live telephone call to the input department of the lender. The lender will take the information and say, okay, I want to introduce you to Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones, this is your lender. Say hello to your lender and vice versa, and they will exchange contact information. This way, we disposition completely, meaning our job is done. They're no longer going to be unsure that we're going to stick around, meaning our job is complete. You're now in the hands of the lender, and the lender will give you your approval in a few days. Good luck. You're in good hands. So that's kind of, and this is how we're doing it now, and it's working much faster. Everybody's clear, and that's what we want you to do. And so that's a long answer, but I think that's a complete answer.
It is. I have a quick follow-up on that. For an associate that has a customer that's ready to be onboarded, that procedure is still going to go through an email. Is that to their account executive or to support at Fundmyhome?
No, what what you want to do is you have to bring them to the onboarding call. So you will be the one going online, and then you will be the one selecting and doing that with them to do their get it on their online calendar, and they'll put the date and the hour, and there they will be the system will already assign the individual, the counselor, and the counselor will call at the time and the day of the call for the onboarding. But it will also call the associate. It's gonna call them both. So
Okay.
you don't have to be the one initiating the phone call. You just have to know that you have an appointment of such a date, and we are actually sending reminders so that you know that you have a call on Tuesday.
Okay, so the procedure would be to go ahead and email support at Fundmyhome, and they would send out a calendar to us to go ahead and schedule that. Is that correct?
Correct. They will send the link to the online calendar.
Okay.
So one thing that we can do about that, I think actually we've already done it, is we created a new calendar, and so the calendar will now be listed on the website for that particular event, because we have several calendars and they all work differently. And the calendars that we have now listed is the one that comes on the welcome email for the new associates. So in there, that calendar is specific for orientation calls. So we already have a new calendar. We're going to now put it on the website for the purpose of onboarding a customer or a home buyer. And that way you're not going to need to wait or send an email and wait for a response. You simply go there and you just simply enroll in your onboarding call for your customer.
Very good. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Thank you, Paul Brawning, for that question. Let's go to our second and last question for today. Carlos, when I joined Fundmyhome about a year ago, the requirements for a state to be open was 20 pre-submissions. As of now, no state will be opened until further notice. Despite the setback we have with the new build initiative, you had mentioned that we have enough funding resources for the down payment assistance program to continue to operate normally, but only in Florida. We had the impression a few weeks ago from the corporate update that things were ready for all states to open with the down payment assistance program, including the new home build initiative. I guess the questions here are, number one, do we not have funding resources available to open other states? And I'll let you answer that first.
Well, sure. So look, this is an interesting, these two questions they actually have to do with the same challenge. Both questions, they wanted, because when we began to want to open states, okay, we went on a sequence, and I am the type of person that does everything on sequence. When I set a sequence, I stay on the sequence, and I let everybody know that they are out of sequence, and reminding them and put them back in sequence on and on. This is everywhere, the home office, whatever it touches, including the lenders when they work with us, the real estate, the realtors, everybody. But I had to tell you that there was we put a sequence that was really out of sequence. So we're following something that broke the sequence, not realizing. And what happens is exactly this. When we said, okay, we have 20 submissions, and I gotta tell you something so that you guys know, both of these topics that I mentioned about is something that I let some of our associate members give and weigh in on these suggestions, and both of them were wrong. So the idea was, okay, let's have 20 submissions and we open a state. Okay, I'm gonna tell you now why that doesn't work, because we went through it, that and it didn't work because somebody starts with an application in one particular state, and then a week and a half later, two more start with an application, and then later on the documents begin to expire, and there is not a solid approval, and then somebody else comes in, and there's application after application, and that didn't solidify a course of action or an actual, you know, signal. This deal needs to close. So we were gathering 20 submissions in a state, but they were not even near close to being doable. So they expire. And so then we start with this kind of disorder. But that's not all. Okay. So, but in spite of what happened, I don't see this as a setback, because the actual associate members did not bring sufficient submissions. Now, if I look about it a little bit, if I step back a little bit, this probably has a lot to do with wanting to make our associate members grant specialists. With now making the flow easier and embedded sequence, I expect that this is not going to be but a great flow. So let's continue with the question. So we begin with the new construction initiative, and we don't have enough submissions that are timely that bring in, and put us in a situation where it became very difficult for us to go to the assembly lines. With the number of models that we had, it required a lot of models, a lot of orders, different manufacturers, and that became difficult to manage. So we put a pause to that, and I'm going to tell you how we are now addressing the new construction, because it's actually much better and better sequence, and it does not require that we all pull together to open a state. In the way that we're doing it now, one single transaction stands alone, and that's all it needs to do one closing, one down payment event in that state. So we no longer have to be depending on the other guys doing a good job, or everybody together, joining forces. One single associate member brings a transaction, that transaction goes to close. And I'm going to explain to you how. So let's continue with the rest of the question.
Okay, the last part of the question, or is it because we don't have sufficient preferred lenders and realtors lined up across the nation to participate in our DPA program? And that question came from Barry Dang.
Okay, so it says here, despite the setback. Okay, so it is not a function of whether there are funds to operate normally or not. The funding is plenty sufficient. Has nothing to do with why the new construction initiative didn't take off strongly or at all. But it has zero to do with funding. If you bring a transaction right now, or 10,000 transactions for existing homes, they will all get funded. But of course, that we want to also bring and expand our market by doing new construction. So it has zero to do with funding. So I want to make that clear. Okay, so let's see. And it has zero to do. And the next part of the question talks about not having sufficient preferred lenders and realtors lined up across the nation to participate on the DPA program. It has zero to do with that either. It has to do with bringing in value to with having a new, easier, better flow system where you simply talk the talk and we do the work, meaning just bring him to the phone, we get him pre-qualified, no need to go through those lengthy onboarding processes that you had to go through, none of that. So, so let me talk about how we're going to bring the new construction. So right now we have national builders. Before we were speaking something similar along the same lines. We were speaking about that we had 430 an association of 430 builders. But there's a difference here. Then when we're in a direction that we were becoming the owner, builder, seller, financer for very good reasons, because the benefit is to the home buyer mostly. When we're becoming the owner, seller, builder, financer, all those builders, those 430 builders, they were the concept was to have them relabeled as contractors. We act as a builder; they acted as contractors. Today, when we say we have 200 national builders, we're not relabeled them in any way or restructure them in any way. They are the builder. We are not the builder. So these builders have communities. They have their websites. They have all their operations. So when we complete all these arrangements, all these contracts with them, and we have a good sufficient number, then I'm going to say, okay, we got enough, let's open. I'm not going to rush into anything anymore. I'm not going to feel any type of pressure. We're simply going to move and we're going to work with what we have, and we're not going to focus on anything that we don't have. But when we already have 200 national builders that we are in conversations. And when we have the whole thing packaged, then we'll announce, okay, go to your website, and in your website, you will see a page that says builders. There, you're going to see sub-menus and indexes that says, okay, we have now by state. So Florida, Georgia, New York, Connecticut. You pick the state, you click there, there's a sub-menu, opens up by cities. Click there, opens up by communities. So when you open the community, then you'll see the website of the builder that is building the whole community, and they will be waiting for you. But we first get you an approval for both the down payment assistance and an approval for the financing. So when you come to fundmyhome.org for down payment assistance or for home ownership, then for you it doesn't make a difference what, or for us, what is it that you want to buy, an existing home or new construction. We first get you approved for down payment assistance and your mortgage loan, and then the question is, okay, so here we go, approved for 325,000. What would you like to do? Well, I don't have that much time to wait for a new home, so I want to buy a home right now, existing, or love to get a new home, but I want it to be a new build. So it will be just as simple. We approve them with the same process, one single process, which will be home buyers navigate here. We give them the approval. Takes about maybe, give or take, maybe 10 days altogether. And then it's now time to make a decision. What would you like to do? An existing home? Great. We want to have a new build? Select your state, your city, your community, and then they will be waiting for you and taking care of the rest. That's how we're going to handle that. So by doing it that way, we don't need to collaborate as a group to bring any number of transactions. One transaction should be enough, and it will be enough. Ken,
Yes, so for clarification, we are only in Florida at this time, correct?
at this time, yes.
Thank you.
But and for clarification, we are moving very quickly into delivering all this information, all these builders with their communities for you to use our down payment assistance and be financed and brought to them. Brand new homes, if that's what you wish, or some home that is existent.
Very good.
Okay.
That's the end of our questions.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So what we want to talk about is we kind of like repeat and kind of repeat the messages because we want to keep it the same, simple. So what is that we're doing? We're sort of doing a water cycle, like a life cycle. So a new associate member comes to us, they enroll, they receive their welcome email, they have their credentials, important information. Then they have the link for their online calendar. They enroll for the orientation call, and they are taught the company, their website, their back office. We are giving them their sales funnels. We are configuring for them their YouTube advertising campaigns. We're doing all that. That's all free. We are giving them their account executive. And now we also giving them a coach, mentor. So we pay for the account executives. It's not free. We pay for the funnels. We pay for all that, the labor. We pay the coaches for coaching you, and we pay them, according to there's a compensation for them. We pay them when the transaction closes, etc. So then that's the beginning of it. So at the end of our orientation call, they will be reminded and they will be told one more thing before you go. Just want to let you know, do whatever it takes to invite friends and family, anybody that you know, anybody you meet, to our opportunity calls. And then, of course, you get acquainted with the coaches and the coaches' corners and the fundraising and all that. But also on this, when a associate member enrolls, a person enrolls as an associate member, in that email, they will be told that it is mandatory for them to set up their YouTube advertising campaign. And this does not take much money. You could go to YouTube and we will configure that with them and do a $1 per day campaign. Now, your computer is not responding well, right? Or is it?
I think it caught up with me.
So I would like to demonstrate, if it's not too complicated, I'd like to demonstrate how YouTube can give you an estimate of a campaign. Because we have a video.
Become a fundraiser for our great cause and build your home-based business, and team optional, and you and your team will share 32% of every dollar you or your team raise. That is right. 7.5% will be paid directly to you as a marketing referral fee for your personal fundraising efforts, and an additional 24.5% of every dollar raised goes to our associates 8 levels deep. Build your team and watch prosperity begin to flow. click the button below for more information.
Ken, let's do this. Can you open our doodle and copy the link? What I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate to you guys how many views for how little one of these videos creates. Because what we're saying is that when you come into the call and we teach you and we help you with your sales funnels, we're also going to help you configure your YouTube advertising campaign. But we're saying to you that you must at least fund it with $1 a day. And we're going to show you how many views you're going to get with very little investment. As a matter of fact, the video that Ken just showed, that video went out with $5. This is something that Scott Grimm put out. $5 he funded. He had, I don't know, near 600 views, and he got actual leads from it. There you go. That's one there. Okay, thank you. So now open a browser and type Google Ads. Okay, so scroll down a little bit, and it says AdWords campaign right there. Sure. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is that particular video, and you could pick any videos that we have. All you have to do is browse our videos, then copy the link, and we have a video that shows you how to do the campaign. But your account executive will help you to set up and configure all this with you. But here's what I wanted to show you. That particular video, if you fund it with $10 a day, that video generates 11,000 views for the month. Scott Grimm's video with $5 generates almost 600. So if you don't want to invest $10 a day, that's okay. Invest $1 a day. But if you're going to come to fundmyhome.org, then why don't you market? And this is the easiest way. You don't have to, rack your brains. $1 a day can produce you a tremendous amount of leads. And then you could switch it around. You have a sales funnel free of charge that will guide and sell for you until such point that the viewer is going to say, okay, I'm done. I need to talk to somebody about this. They're going to be talking to you about different reasons. I would like to become an associate member. I would like to become a fundraiser, because the opportunities here are more than one. I want to become a real estate agent with here. So we have different pillars of opportunity here. So that $1 a day will multiply for you quite a bit. And for your downline and your upline, for the company, for the home buyers, that $1 a day, your contribution to knowing what we do and how we do it, it can and will do wonders. So today I was talking to Scott Grimm, and as we say, Scott, you notice that since we began the coaching, how some of the new enrollments kind of like slow down a little bit. And he said, well, that is because we are trimming the tree. So this is not a multi-level marketing company that we want you to just multi-level everybody. There is a time here that you have to do something. You have to work a little bit. And so if some of the associates are looking at this as we are now asking you to go to work, and the answer is yes, and you don't like it, then unfortunately, as Scott says, we're kind of trimming the tree. So look, we have a great opportunity. We have put together so much. Let's just do it. Use it. We are going to back you up. We're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to give the home buyers what they're looking for, etc. You can be, again, a fundraiser, down payment assistance specialist, realtor, associate member, home buyer, whichever way you want to. And each of those pillars earns you a lot of money. Scott, if you or you can, if you have any comments.
I do not. I know that Scott and Miss Peach have been working very hard with their coaching. I've talked to Miss Peach and I've been listening to Scott. Scott, did you want to come on and?
Yeah, thanks, Ken. And thank you, Carlos. And yeah, I would just encourage everyone, we have definitely been doing some pruning. And by that, we're not interested in just bringing associates on and getting their $59 and getting large numbers of people that don't do anything. We're interested in raising up lion leaders that want to really make a difference in this world and help us achieve our dream, our goal of helping 1 million home renters become homeowners in this country. And, it's a serious effort, and it's going to take hard work. It's going to take commitment, and that's what we're interested in. So we're pruning right now. And, this isn't, necessarily fun and games. It's fun. It really is. It's so exciting. But it's hard work. It's commitment. It's the grind, and it's not, it's not for everybody. And we understand that. And we want to hold each other accountable. Iron sharpens iron. And that's what we're out to do here, is to help each of us be successful and to achieve our goal and bring people to discovery. So it's an exciting thing. Pruning, going to the dentist is never fun. But once you get rid of the decay, the bad tooth, you feel a whole lot better. And as an organization, we realize that, some people might not like what we're saying and might not like what we're doing. And that's okay. We understand that. But we are going to move forward with a sense of purpose and vision that is laser focused, and its outcome will bring success. And if you want to come along for that ride, great. We're going to do everything we can to help you. And if you don't, that's okay too. We understand that it's not for everybody. And if you're not willing to do the things that successful people are to achieve those outcomes, then, this is not for you. And so we expect to lose some people, because, they're not willing to go down that road. If you're not willing to spend $1 a day to get leads, then you're in the wrong business. I'll just be honest with you. You're only going to be able to work your warm market so long, and then you're going to have to go after the cold market. So you're going to get a return on your investment from the universe, from God, as far as what you put into it. If you only put in, coming to a meeting once in a while and throwing out maybe a Facebook, post once in a while, or inviting somebody, once in a while, that's all you're going to get out of it. You're not going to get much. But if you put in the hard work, if you invest in your great opportunity, then the universe recognizes that and you'll be rewarded accordingly. It's just the way it is. So we're going to be honest with you.
Thank you, Scott. So I'd like to mention a couple of important things here. First, we, and to close on that lead thing, $1 a day. Now, if you went to, say, Lending Tree to get leads, I don't know how much it costs, but I'm saying to you that it's going to run you, who knows, in a neighborhood of $30 a name. Not sure exactly, but we're talking some serious money. We're speaking about $1 a day will produce you a tremendous amount of traction. But when you buy or deal in the industry that you will be dealing with LendingTree.com, you're also dealing with ferocious competition. With our company, we bring you a place that not only that you do not have to sound like a salesperson, but you have zero competitors. And you're not going to have anybody saying, I don't want down payment assistance. Are you kidding me now? Okay, so now let me give you something interesting. We just report to you that we now have begun sending out checks for commissions for fundraising. This is very, very cool. Now, I like to also remind you or warn you of something that we are not a money pyramid scheme. So there is something that you have to keep your eyes on very carefully, because if an associate member were to give a donation, we are not going to pay out any money on that, because then it will become a pyramid. Somebody gives money and then we give money to somebody else. And we will not, and that is just, at least we recognize that it's a very dangerous situation immediately. So why I mention this is because in this particular event, when we have a donor that gave a donation, the donor soon after became an associate member. But the good news is that it was soon after gave the donation. If this would have been on the reverse, that the associate member first became a member and then made the donation, we would not be able to make a commission payout. So when you're doing your fundraising, make sure that if this, because we have an ecosystem here. Home buyers become associate members become home buyers, and now even fundraisers. But if you have some prospect, make sure that if they are going to donate, make sure that they first donate before they become associate, because we will not pay out any money if that happens. This case was a lucky shot because the person enrolled right after. So we're not breaking this is well, and also if this happened once or twice, it's not a pattern. It's not you couldn't call it a pyramid if it happened once or twice, but we just want to avoid all that altogether. And if you guys have any questions, or if anybody wants to raise their hands to ask questions or comments, we have Ms. Peach that wants to talk to us.
Hi there. Good evening. Hello, everyone. I just wanted to just put the props out there in regards to the coaching rooms are now open. Scott is offering a day and an evening session that accommodates West Coast and East Coast. And I myself am running a 7 to 8 p.m. Thursday nights coaching room. I do require a one-on-one with someone who wants to come in, basically, so we can kind of get to know each other first, and I can see how to best guide towards your specific needs. And then I see a number of my students are online now. I'm happy to see you guys. I am watching attendance. So thank you so much. We just finished our session this evening before the call this evening, the updating call. So send me an email to Miss Peach at fundmyhome.org, and I'll be able to with your phone number, your ID number, and I'll connect with you, and then also catch you up on the 2 sessions that we've already had. But if you're looking for helping you fine tune your conversational skills, learn the bullet points of what we do, who we are and what we do. And I know we can get some testimonials from students from my coaching room already right now. Please do. I really want to help you. Your success leads to a chain reaction of success, but ultimately you're building your business, and it's wonderful when you do something good for other people, and then you can put down your head at night on the pillow and know that you've had a good day of good deeds, helping people, and also have been blessed yourself. So coaching rooms are open. You have Scott at fundmyhome.org or myself, Miss Peach, fundmyhome.org. Please reach out to us. We would love to have you on our teams.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Peach.
All right, Carlos, we're up against 10 o'clock. Your choice.
Well, I think that if someone, if we could answer one or two questions, just to give everybody courtesy, if anybody wants to give us a question live, we'll answer any question that is polite.
Okay, just raise your hand. We'll look for a couple of our associates and we'll get some questions answered if you like. And in order to raise your hand, you have to go to your name, hit the more, and then it should say raise your hand. I don't see
Okay,
anybody,
so
Carlos.
meanwhile, yes, thank you. So meanwhile, I just want to close by telling you that the 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 arrangement with the national builders is ongoing right now, and those national builders means they have national coverage. So, like I said, I'm not going to rush into anything anymore. Um, we are now talking to and communicating with and going into arrangements, contracts with 200 of the largest builders in the country. And when we do so, again, what we do is we will have their their pages, their websites with the communities that where they are, state by state, city by city, town by town, and you will be able to see their product, their communities, all that. And when that happens, that means that we're now open everywhere. And also, we are not needing you to have coalitions and having to come together and everybody have a collaboration and to try to push forward because you, your own transaction, your individual transaction, anywhere where you see those websites available, then we can say yes to that. Now I have to say that there's one place that we are still unable at this moment to do business in, which is Maryland. And that's just the way things are right now. So everywhere else except for Maryland, and that also is on my site to change that. And most likely it will be changed. So that this is all coming very, very soon, and it's going to become much easier than we had it planned. Okay.
I have one caller, Winsome. I've unmuted you. If you'll unmute yourself and ask your question, please.
Yes, my name is Winsome. I'm actually probably one of the newest associate member.
Welcome.
I just need to get clarification because I'm new to the program. I don't know much about the program, but just to reinforce that if we should have someone who has an interest in the program, all we need to do is to get them to speak with someone in the company.
Okay, so the first thing we want you to do is when you and everyone else that you're going to bring as your team members is to watch for their welcome email. The welcome email is going to have your credential, important information. It's going to have your link to the onboarding to your online calendar, and then you want to set your orientation call. And when you do, they will call you at the time and the hour that you selected. They're going to teach you what we do, our culture, what we expect from you, what we expect from the home buyers. They're going to give you the pillars of opportunities, which is good, has to do with fundraising, down payment assistance, realtors, associate members, home buyers, all that. And they're going to help you set up and give you your free of charge sales funnels, configure your YouTube advertising campaigns, and remind you to do the same and continue to bring another member. When what we're saying is that they're going to teach you how to do your own Zoom webinars. They're going to help you configure your Zoom account, teach you how to use it, and tell you and remind you that what you have to do when somebody calls you from a advertisement, somebody goes to your sales funnel and finally arrives at your website, says, "Okay, call me. I'm very interested." What they will teach you to do is, and remind you and encourage you to do is, to then tell them, "Okay, are you in front of a computer?" And then bring them to your Zoom webinar, send them your link, and then bring them to the source, which is should be right there where it says home buyers navigate here, and bring them there. Let them be acquainted and say, "Oh, good." So I leave it with that, and call me in a day or two when you go through it, and they will call you back. Once they call you back because they want to go, then you're going to put them on the phone. How do you do that? You're going to do that by going on the online calendar to enroll to onboard that home buyer. And as I said, we until now, you had to have sent an email to support, but coming this weekend, you will be having a new calendar for onboarding your customers. So right now, the calendar that we have there is the calendar that enrolls you on the orientation call. Now you're going to have a new calendar that onboards your home buyers. And I hope that answered your question.
Great. Thank you, Winsome. We have one more question from Paul Bronning. Paul?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, just to kind of confirm, when the nation is open to the national builders, is it also open for existing homes nationwide at the same time?
It can be. I was just sitting back for a moment and thinking about that. It can be, yes. The answer is yes.
And that would be for the grant program as well.
Right, because when at that moment the home buyer goes through the process, they get an approval. Then then after that they got the amount, and the question for them is, what would we like to do now? We like to buy an existing home, or we like to have a new construction? And they are the ones that are going to lead the way. Okay, this is what I want. So yes.
All right, very good. Thank you, Paul. I don't have any other questions. Did you want to go ahead and close out, Carlos?
Well, this Rick Roach here. I want to thank everybody. If you want to, Rick Roach wants to give the last question.
Okay, Rick, I've unmuted you. Go right ahead.
Thank you. Okay, if I'm understanding this correctly, then if I have somebody basically anywhere in the country who is interested in a new home, and I've got them to the point where they look like they qualify, and I've done the calculator with them. So what exactly, once they've done the calculator, has changed to what am I turning them over to you to do at this point, to the company?
Right, because it seems, yeah, that's a very good question. It seems like we removed most of the work, but no. The only thing that we removed was the time-consuming portion of getting all the documents on a row. Because
Yes.
when we had the onboarding process, if they onboarded prematurely, and when the counselors were reviewing the documentation, if they were incomplete, right there they were getting off-boarded and invited to come back later when they had everything on hand. So right now, that's the most consuming part of the arrangement. So rather than having wait a week or 2 weeks for them to get an answer, we are now giving them an answer based on the information that they give us.
And is that answer based on the calculator that we've used?
The calculator is preliminary, is not as accurate pre-qualification as what the conversation will be. But the down payment system calculator, they will be able to have a good field of what can happen. But you do want to use that because you want to use that, have some basis. Then you want to match it to your local real estate market conditions, which is easy. Simply, okay, looks like I'm good
Yes.
for 225. Maybe you are not interpreting it correctly. Maybe you're making a mistake. Maybe you're not good for 225. Maybe you're good for 190 or 400,000. But we're no longer going to make you be completely sure of this. Just have an idea of what we're doing. Make sure that you know that you know the basics of it. What do we what we offer? You know, they're gonna have to have some money to put down as a deposit because we could give a perfect transaction where there is, you know, no money out of pocket. That's great. But without the money to enter into the contract, without the ability to put a deposit, then they're not going to be able to do anything. So you gotta kind of learn the information and kind of know how to guide them a little bit. If they tell you, listen, I only have $200, you gotta know that that's not gonna work because I don't know any seller that's gonna give you a contract with you giving them $200 for deposit. So all common sense, but we eliminated the part of having to gather all the documentation as a condition to onboard. Now, when you feel that you're ready, onboard them. Okay, Rick?
Very good. Thank you.
All right. So thank you very much. It's 10:13. Thank you guys, all of you, very much for coming tonight, and we'll see you next week. So take it away, Ken.
Thank you, Mr. Berrettini. I did want to remind our associates that information on all of Scott Grimm's fundraising and workshops, as well as all of our videos, all the links can be found on our FMH Associates page. If you go up to the top by files, you'll be able to locate all that information there for you, as well as we have the videos on the YouTube page. I do want to ask, though, that if our associates, please do not invite people to our FMH Associates page. They will not be accepted. They must be members, and you must also use your associate ID when trying to become a member of that page. Also a reminder, if you have a question for our CEO, they must be in by Wednesday, 8 p.m., and they come to Ken at fundmyhome.org. That's all I have. Just a reminder, make sure you bring a couple guests Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights for our presentation. Watch your emails for the same address as it's been for quite a while. Y'all have a great evening and a good weekend.